Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And it's that time of the month again to do a who should use your BT tokens on. So this is my BT token guide for April. So for those of you that are new to these guides, what I like to do is at the end of every month, I like to do a guide for anyone that's maybe approaching 50 BT tokens, maybe wondering who should I use this on, who are the best characters to get at that time in the game. So obviously it's getting to the point where there's like way too many BT characters to talk about them all, so I usually don't talk about every character. So if there's a character you're thinking about, just because they're not mentioned doesn't mean that they're a bad pickup. One thing I always say at the beginning of these videos, if there's a character that's a favorite of yours, even if they're not relevant now, they will be relevant again at some point. So if you know you're going to be happy and like want to use that character, like you're never wrong just picking a character you like that's totally fine. So that's one route you can take, right? In this video, or in these videos in general, basically what I like to do is look at who are the most meta relevant, like the characters that are going to make your life in the game the easiest, right? So if you love stomping Lufenias and you want to know who's going to help me cheese it the best, that's usually what I cover. So in this month's video, I'm actually going to talk about 12 characters just because there's a lot of like good relevant characters coming out soon. And there's also like some current characters that are already out that are really good pickups. So I'm going to start on this first page here. I basically just put characters on teams to help me remember who I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to talk about this trio. I use them a lot on my channel. But Locke, Garnet, and Machina are all fine pickups for you. Machina does return for a C90, but I want to say it's not till like July or something. It's a little ways off. The other thing you have to keep in mind is the character you're going to use your token on. Typically, you want to pick someone you already have built, like up to the BT. So someone that you would already have the LD for. That's usually what you want. Now, you could grab a BT for someone that you don't if you know their LD's coming soon and you just want to ticket it or something. But even then, you're taking a bit of a risk because you could pull their BT on tickets. So you got to be kind of careful about that. But so Locke, Garnet, and Machina. So my number one, and she's probably going to be there for like several months yet, is Garnet. Garnet is hands down still the best character in DFFOO. She breaks the game. She makes all your characters like way better. Her HP damage cap limit up is like ridiculous. Like she just like I've done showcases on characters. I'm like, oh, they're really good, and then I put them on a team with Garnet. I'm like, whoa, they can do that number. Like it's crazy. Like just having her around. She's pretty much like if you want like the top meta team, like Garnet is basically the core of that. So if you have access to her LD and you haven't picked up her BT, I would say hands down she's the one to grab. Locke, I really like him a lot. Obviously, as you can tell by my supplement level 5 out of 5 Ultima Weapon Dagger on him. So yeah, I like Locke a little bit. The reason why Locke's so valuable, he does do really good damage, but I think his defense ignore for the party to me is like what makes him so valuable. So, and then he makes it so that like if you get hit below 50%, you auto heal back up. He does really good damage. He's got healing in his kit himself besides that. So he's just a really good character, and I'm a huge Final Fantasy VI fan. And like I always say, if you're a fan of a character, like always go for that. And then Machina, even at C80, like he's still really good. I've been using him in videos. People are like, when's he coming back? I feel so bad I didn't get Machina. He can still do a lot of damage. Like Machina is still my favorite. Like no matter what my team comp is, if Machina's on it, he's my burst phase. Like his burst phase is so damaging because you're spamming his HP plus burst attack, which is like ridiculously strong, right? So those are 3 recommendations. Any of those are fine, but Garnet overall, out of all 12 of these units I'm going to talk about, she's number 1. Okay. All right, now we got some newbies coming up, and these guys are a hot topic right now. These are characters a lot of people are talking about. So we've got Ramza, Zack, and Laguna. Okay, the general idea with Laguna is that he has really powerful debuffs, and he does get like follow-up attacks with that as well. The way I would think about Laguna is this. Laguna is a very, very good character, and if you're a fan of Laguna, like he's a really good pickup. I kind of, in my mind, I think of Laguna as like a Cloud of Darkness, where while being a very good character in your party, they're actually like just as good as a friend unit. So if you're not like a super big fan of Laguna and like you don't care about the kit, Laguna is just someone you could bring a friend Laguna with and like almost get just as much out of them and like have a really good time. So I don't think Laguna would be a must pick here, but Laguna, if you like Laguna, very, very good character, but you can get away with bringing a friend Laguna, I think. Ramza and Zack. Okay, so here's the thing with these two. Ramza, we'll start with him. Before Garnet was a thing, Ramza was like ooga booga, like the best support. Like Ramza was Garnet. Okay, we'll put it that way. Garnet happened to come out as a global first and like far surpass Ramza, kind of bringing Ramza down a little bit. But Ramza is still really good. So here's the thing you want to think about here. If you missed Garnet and you don't have her LD, and so then getting her burst isn't an option, I think Ramza might be a top tier pickup here, because Ramza offers very, very good competitive support, very good auras. He has the very coveted like HP damage cap up, which is really, really good, and it's a really good one. That's why Garnet is so good, right? Now, and then he also can do like launching, really good battery. So yeah, Ramza is fantastic. Okay. Now, if you already have Garnet, you could justify skipping on Ramza and not getting him because Garnet's actually better. But you could be a, crazy like Lufenia stomper like myself and put Garnet and Ramza on the same team, which I think some people are going to do, which will be really busted because their HP damage cap should stack and offer like so like if I'm doing a showcase on a character and I want them to look the best, you basically make a Ramza Garnet sandwich. You put your damage dealer in the middle, and they're going to go to town. So if you want to make the Ramza Garnet sandwich team, that might be a new thing. Maybe I'll trademark that to my channel, or I'll do some team comps. That's the Ramza Garnet sandwich. If you want to make the Ramza Garnet sandwich, pick up Ramza. The lucky thing for me, well, I got Garnet during the 4th year anniversary because she's busted as all heck. But you can see here, I've already got the burst for Ramza. So literally all I'm doing is I'm putting in Ignits and he's ready to go. So I'm going to have the Garnet Ramza sandwich. So that's very, very good. So Ramza, it's up to you. If you already have Garnet, you definitely don't need him. If you want to make the sandwich team, go for it. If you don't have Garnet, though, I think Ramza lifts like way up. Like he might be the number one pick just because if you don't have Garnet LD, but you have Ramza LD, or you pull for Ramza LD because his cycle's coming up, right? Let's say you pull for Ramza LD, you got your 50 burst tokens, you're not going to pull on a cycle, then he's a fantastic burst to grab. Zach, I would say out of the new units that I'm talking about for this month, Zach is the number one pick. The thing with Zach is he's known as a tank, which he does very, very well. But with his C90, like his damage is actually pretty insane. So he's a great combo of a very, very good damage dealer with a tank. And when we say tank, we say like your team basically can't die, okay? He's like Bosch on steroids. He's like all tanks on steroids, but he'll take like AoE attacks, direct them all to himself, and then he can't die and gives your party shields. He's like every tank like rolled into one because he's got shields too. So, and he's doing tons of damage. So Zach, I would say Zach could be like the number 2 like overall on this list behind Garnet, because I think you could argue him even over someone like Locke just because of how much Zach is going to make you not die. If you want the game to be easy, like if you don't like dying and you struggle with Lufenias, like Zach's the guy. Zach's going to make it very, very hard for you to die. You almost have to try to die or let lethal orbs pop to like die with Zach on your team. So Zach is very, very high on the list this month. So that's that trio there. Then we got this trio. So we've got Terra, Squall, and Cloud. So I'm throwing these 3 up because these are basically characters that are returning on banners. They already had BTs and they're just getting C90s here basically, but they're not getting like as much of crazy reworks as some of the other characters. So I would say these ones are all kind of like mid-tier. I think the other ones that I've talked about are probably a lot better. Me, for example, you can see my Terra's just chilling there with blue armor and a burst. So you know what I'm going to do to Terra. Like I'm going to green her. I don't know that I would recommend the average player do that, but Terra is a favorite. Like Final Fantasy VI is my jam. So you always green your favorites. You go in on your favorites. So I'm going to play Terra. I'm going to make her look pretty damn good. I'm prepping her Ultima Sword as we speak. So as you guys saw, I don't know. You tell me if I like Final Fantasy VI. Look at Locke's Dagger. My next weapon is I'm doing that to Terra basically. So I based my Ultima weapons on my 2 favorite characters. And I said, they're getting it. And then that's just the way I'm rolling with it. So you do you for Ultima weapons, but that's the way I'm rolling on it, right? Okay, and so then we've got Cloud. I think between Cloud and Squall, I like Cloud better, but they're both pretty decent. Squall's he's pretty much a one-trick pony. He's just AoE physical damage, like straight through. Like that's pretty much his game is what he does. So If you like Squall and you like a lot of AoE damage, then go for it. And I believe his burst effect also like buffs the party's AoE damage. So if you're running like AoE team comps, excuse me, that can work well. But Squall's not like meta breaking. He's not like Garnet. He's not like Zac, right? Cloud, same thing. If you like Cloud, obviously there's a lot of Cloud fans out there. Cloud's very good. Like you can get a lot of good use out of him. He's a little bit more utility than like a Squall. He's got launch. He's got paralyze. He's got a little bit of delay. So like, yeah, Cloud's great. So, and just so you guys know, you could pick any of these characters I'm talking about and you're just fine. I'm kind of just giving you like a quick little analysis, right? And then we have a couple of like more oddballs here. So Lightning and Tidus I want to throw out there because they are very recent C90s. They're already out. I think Lightning is actually coming back on the Cloud Squall banner again. So like you could potentially pull for her LD if you wanted to. You can see I did green, blue my Lightning. She's more because she's a favorite of mine. She's very fast turn steely character. Her individual hits don't do crazy damage, but when you combo like all the free turns and stuff she gets, she is dealing out a lot of damage. So that's Lightning. That's her thing. She's definitely not like the top tier of this batch. She's probably actually on the lower end of it. But if you like her, you can see you green her. That's what I did. Tidus is very good. Tidus just came back fairly recently with his C90. If you like a lot of blitz balls being thrown at people, doing a lot of follow-ups, doing a little bit of delay through breaking and re-breaking with the Jack shot or whatever, he's very good with that. Does a lot of damage, kind of turns steely, kind of similar to Lightning. Tidus's damage is way better than Lightning's, I feel like. So, and you can see my Tidus is pretty decked out. He's currently holding Terra's weapon for her until she's ready. So right now he's just kind of holding on to it. You can see I'm building it up there though. And then I had to throw Snow in here. So in these videos though, I typically only cover the month. Snow actually isn't an April character. He's actually going to be mid-May. But I had to throw him on here because people are already asking me about him in my comments. And I know if I did this video without mentioning Snow, like somebody would probably crucify me. So I'm going to throw out Snow. But if you're realistically at 50 tokens for April, you have to be willing to wait a while to get Snow. But Snow's like bananas bonkers. Like he's an instant green for me. I'll just say that right now. He's very, very good pickup. So if you are looking forward to Snow and you can hold your tokens long enough, then yeah, Snow's a great pick. So just to summarize, I would say number one pick, if you have access to the LD, you got to get Garnet. Garnet is number one, super crazy, meta breaking, best character in the game's history. She's going to be good for months and months and months. Ridiculous. And then I would say like the combination of, I think Machina, to me, like he's crazy damage, but he's literally, you're using him for his damage in his burst phase. So I would say I would probably put Locke and Zac above him. So I would say like Locke and Zac are maybe in that like number 2 spot. And I'd say Ramza's value just depends on where you're at with Garnet, or if you want to run the Garnet Ramza sandwich. So Laguna, very good if you like Laguna, but once again, you can get by with bringing a Laguna friend and still get Laguna stuff going on. So that's totally up to you. So anyways, guys, hopefully this helps you make a decision. Feel free to hit me up in the comments. If you have questions about a particular character that I didn't mention, feel free to shout me out. I'll give you some advice in there. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you all in the next one.